Let's go to this now. Syrian President Ahmed Al-Sharaa has called for national unity and peace following violent clashes along the country's Mediterranean coast. The violence, the deadliest since the fall of Bashar Al-Assad, has left hundreds dead. Over 1,000 people, including 745 civilians, have reportedly lost their lives in just 2 days of fighting between Syrian security forces and fighters loyal to the former Assad regime. Newzroom Afrika's Qaanitah has been reporting from Syria this week and joins us now live from Amman in Jordan. A very good morning to you, Qaanitah. So the Syrian security forces claim to have regained control over much of the Tartus as well as Latakia government. Just to elaborate further for us on that.
Yeah, a very precarious situation in Syria, Aldrin, as the greatest fear after the fall of the regime has come through, which is what they call a rise in revenge killings. It started where a minority sector, the Alawite community that live on that coastline and formed a big part of the Assad regime, attacked Syrian security officials, and that resulted in mass confrontations with a rising number of what is described as revenge killings in and around the area. Now, it's a very tentative situation in Syria, and I saw, in my travels from Damascus across to the north of the country, how after 14 years of brutal war, they obviously the remnants of the Assad regime remains in society. Initially, there was the sense of blanket amnesty once Bashar Al-Assad fled the country and the regime was toppled. However, in my conversations with ministers, with activists and with ordinary people, there was a huge call for the need for transitional justice, for some people to be held accountable for their actions in the Assad regime, given the brutality of what we saw inside the deadly Sednaya prison, inside the camps that have been completely destroyed by chemical weapons and kilometers of areas that were completely flattened. Just really apocalyptic scenes that I saw in Syria. And the concern, even before the fighting broke out in Latakia and Tartus in the last 3 days, was around how do you stop revenge killing? How do you stop people from taking the law in their own hands and seeking revenge on sects of the communities that people believe were part of the regime? And so really disturbing images coming through Aldrin of what went down in this coastal area is obviously quite far from the center. Ahmed Al-Sharaa, the interim president of Syria, sort of downplayed it, but saying that, they expected this level of instability. They expected some sort of fight back, but at the same time warning against Syria being plunged into civil war once again. The security situation is precarious, as well as the economic situation 3 months after the fall of the Assad regime, as this new interim government seeks in earnest to rebuild Syria.
Thank you so much for that. That is Qaanitah there joining us from Jordan. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.